welcome to another Silent Assassin suit only run. This time we're in Bangkok, we're on pro mode and we're going to take out Jordan Cross and Ken Morgan. As with the other pro mode runs I've done, I've tried to do accident kills only for these two kills, and I'm trying to keep it to falls or drop kills. So it created a little bit of a challenge when it came to Ken because he's so hard to get. So once they talk about him being in the restaurant, you can leave the cutscene and we're going to go and set up the first kill. What we're going to do is we're going to poison Ken's food with emetic poison. That way he'll be nice and primed for an easy drop kill with a coconut. When I was creating this route, I did try to experiment and get rid of Ken's bodyguard. I was hoping there would be a way to use emetic poison on him and leave Ken isolated, but the problem is that the one place where Ken's bodyguard does actually use a drink is right by a bin, so unfortunately I couldn't poison him. If any of you do know a good way to get Ken's bodyguard out of the way, drop me a comment, I'll very much appreciate it. Back to the game, we're going to bump into this woman a couple of times. We don't want her disturbing us when we're on the stairs priming up the kill, so just give her another bump. That should just distract her now. Ken's going to be sampling the food. He's going to be ready to throw up any second now, so we're just going to get in place and line up the shot. Now, it is I won't say a difficult shot, but you have to be very specific about where you shoot. So in a second I get the pistol out, and you've got to aim for the coconuts in a very small corner of the window. If you aim at another part, it's as if the glass is bulletproof. I'm sure other Hitman commentators have pointed this out, but especially if using the Krugermeyer, it is a slightly difficult shot to make. So as you can see on the minimap, he's just getting into position. So we're going to aim for the coconut just in that little fraction there. Again, it's a very small space to shoot, but once you get there, it's an easy shot in the end. It's more about making sure you know where to shoot there rather than actually having any problem shooting it. So that is one positive for people like me who just aren't that good a shot in circumstances where you do need to be accurate. So moving on, we're now going to get to Jordan. Now this part here is, I won't say difficult, but it's annoying. You have to cross over both times, and it would be convenient if there was an easy way across, but this isn't just pro mode, this is actually Bangkok in general. But in this instance we're going to use an explosive. It distracts them too, no one really looks. We're getting a little bit of attention there, but nothing too hot. So we can just sneak across here and we can pick up this cue ball. Now I don't feel like it's just me saying this, but there have been times when I've played pro mode and I feel like certain NPCs in this area have the ability to see through walls or see through cover. So just be careful when you're taking your shots, because I've taken out that camera a couple of times and an NPC out of nowhere has just seen me. So just be careful, it can ruin a run. But right now I'm just waiting for this guy to come around, so he's looking over the balcony. And in the other room we're going to just wait until everyone's facing front so that we can sneak into the room as you enter on the left, where there's a guy on the balcony who leans over and occasionally just gives you hassle for climbing up the pipe. So they're taking the time at the moment, but there we go, he's just turning around. The other guy's going to go in the toilet. Prime time to go and start the ascent upstairs. So shut this door behind you, very important, otherwise you can get seen. Use the cue ball to knock him out a bit faster and drag his body onto the balcony. It isn't that essential, but again, on your way back you don't want to have to deal with it, so best to do it now, just get it out of the way early on. As for the way that I take out Jordan, from the beginning of creating this idea in my mind, it was always the intention to do this, which is to drop Jordan from this balcony. I've seen it somewhere, so if someone can give me a name of a YouTuber who has done this route, I'd appreciate it, but for the life of me I can't remember who it was. But I seem to remember the idea of someone knocking NPCs out in this area to do this. So whoever did it, thank you very much for the idea and credit to you. But unfortunately I can't give a name out at the moment because for the life of me I can't find the video. So for now, what I'm going to do is just sneak into the room on the right. We're going to take advantage of the fact that these two are just standing here. They aren't in the room, so you have to be a little careful with them because they do have some random head turning. I'd say the guy on the left is going to move, yep, so we're on our way now. And the idea is we're going to lure one at a time in this room. We don't want to get the two behind us. If you can see on the mini-map, there are two who are just by the recording booth. We're going to leave them in this run. I know sometimes you do get them out of the way, but I'm happy to leave them as they are. The main focus is on these two guards here, and we're going to get rid of a crew member, and we're also going to get rid of, I think it's a bodyguard, it might be another crew member. So as you can see, I've lured him in, and he's just taking his time as bodyguards tend to do. So once he's inside, just sneak up around him and we'll use the cue ball to knock him out. So once he's knocked out, he'll drop a gun and we're going to put him in the closet. We're going to pick up the gun and place it a little bit more central just so that we know where the gun exactly is. As I always tend to do in these situations, I accidentally go into the closet, but never mind. I pick up the gun and I just place it a little more central just so I know where the guard will eventually go. I'm going to open the door and lure the guard inside. I'll admit I did enjoy this strategy, but there is a lot of faffing around with getting rid of guards, and I can understand people maybe wanting to try a more direct approach, which would in this instance be taking the two out by the recording booth and shooting Jordan in there. To be honest, once you are actually up in this area, that is the simplest way to do it. But I've seen that route so many times, whether it's a gunshot or a poison kill, or even doing the Piano Man challenge. You get fed up of seeing it. So I thought I'm going to try and present something different to whoever watches this, and hopefully I achieve that. The next person we're going to lure into the room is a recording crew member, and this one is a little bit of a nuisance. For some reason, he doesn't come all the way into the room. So you do have to lure him with a few items. So for example, he comes this far, but there's no way I could actually get to him without being caught meleeing him. So I'm just going to wait for his little question mark to go from above his head, you can see on the mini-map, and then I chuck the crowbar. So he's a little bit tricky. It's nothing overly complicated, but when you're dealing with a time limit that's now on 6:36, 6:37, you do want to try and deal with it as quick as possible. So an NPC just being annoying, yeah, it's not great. Equally, at this point, I think the game's developers, or the game's designers, should I say, were aware that people might use this room as a bit of a body drop zone, because luckily there is a bit of cover here, but they made sure they didn't give you a closet. So it does restrict the actions for the next part, because I couldn't use an explosive to get past the NPCs downstairs, because I knew bodies would be found up here. So it was quite clever from the designers, but it is still a bit of a pain when you try and go for speed. So we've just lured the final NPC who's going to be in the way. To be honest, this one is the hardest to get, so that's why I leave him till last. But in reality, it's just a simple throw that will bring him into the room. They're all pretty simple to take out, but you have to deal with each one individually. It's not a case of, for example, using Napoleon blown apart and being able to take out 4 in a row. You just can't do anything that creative with it. You just have to, unfortunately, go one at a time. It's not the most entertaining on screen, I recognise that, but hopefully the end product is nice. Finally, they're all tucked away, so we can now just get on with actually setting up Jordan's kill. So let's just tuck that away so we don't get an easy spot. We're going to go on the balcony and we're going to place the phone. The idea is, when Jordan's in range, we're going to call the phone and he's going to be drawn to it. So, like I say, I'm sure I've seen this idea somewhere on YouTube before, and it is irritating me that I don't know where. But it's a simple enough idea, but there's a bit of a wait for him to come down. It's about 90 seconds from now. So instead of skipping, I'd just like to bring to people's attention that instead of doing my usual Saturday video, which is usually a silent assassin suit only, I am going to do something slightly different this weekend. I'm not 100% certain what it will be, but as Hitman players are aware, after Bangkok, the next map is Colorado. And I'm going to just need a little more time to do a silent assassin suit only on pro mode for Colorado. I've got the idea penciled in, but I'm just struggling to find my way through the route. So I might just need an extra week or two to nail that down. So in the intervening time, I think I'm going to do roulettes. I'm not 100% certain, we'll find out close to the time, but whatever it is, it's going to be a nice, different feel just for the weekend. As you might have noticed as well, I've done all the escalations in the week, so content on the channel might be varying now more than what it was, but I will always try and make room for Hitman, especially as it seems like Hitman Season 2 is on the horizon. Who doesn't want to see more gameplay? Anyway, if you've been watching the video as well as listening to me blabbering on for about a minute, you'll be noticing that Jordan's on his way down. So we're in prime place now to start the kill off. Now, as you can see, I'm lining up the throw. The best time to do it is just as he passes the little doorway. So as you can see, he's just going to pass now. Now's the time to throw it. He won't see you as you run into here, but he will turn around. So it's a perfect time to throw it. Again, what you're going to do is just keep your instinct on, and you're going to keep an eye on the question mark above his head. The reason it's important to keep an eye on the question mark is you do not want to call the phone until the question mark has gone. If you press the button too early, someone else will hear the phone, or worse still, Jordan will hear the phone but he won't respond to it. As you can see, I waited for the question mark to go, pressed the button, and now he goes to investigate. And pretty much you just have to follow him and just enjoy the kill. Whee! There we go, pick up the phone. Also go back for the cue ball. It is a bit of a silly thing to do, but in another attempt at this run, I had run out of distracting items and I'd left the cue ball there. So I was right at the end and I hadn't got anything to distract a guard with. So I ended up failing the mission just because I got spotted. So yeah, try and pick up the items just in case you need them. You know, you don't want to run out of distractions. So again, we're just coming back the way we came now. I've said it before, but this is the least favourite part of Bangkok for me. It's just the waiting around, making sure NPCs line up. To be honest, I could actually I could have taken a shot then, but I realised too late that I could. So again, you have to wait for the guy across there to come over here to line up. Then you've got to make sure that everyone in here is looking forward. It's just a shame. I mean, I'm looking at the clock, we're on 11, 16, 17, and you just won't be making for the exit now, and instead all I'm doing is waiting for a guy to come and lean on a balcony. And you know, you can see in the room they're all wicking away, but I know I'd get spotted if I made a move now, so you just have to keep your patience. But unlike the other maps where it's more about manoeuvring around little groups, in Bangkok you've got to get across larger groups in smaller areas, if that makes some sense. It's much more difficult to exit quickly, that's for certain, especially when you've only really got one exit in pro mode. And I do realise that that one exit, it isn't something that comes into play right at this point, but you do have to keep it in mind in that you have to make a choice about whether you want to go for that one exit that is guaranteed, or if you want to try and get the speedboat key so that you've got another exit. Whichever way, you've got to make a decision, and having time like this, it really impacts on it, because trying to go as quickly as possible, I'd rather go for the one guaranteed exit than mess around trying to get the speedboat. Now anyway, after all that messing about, this guy still spotted me, so I just subdued him. In hindsight, I'm wondering if that was a risky decision, just because I know that from at least the standard difficulty that there was a hotel staff member who used to walk around this little area. So just my little knowledge of pro mode, I don't know if they've changed that, but I was lucky I didn't get caught. That's my opinion here and now anyway. So this gardener here is very annoying. As you can see, I threw the item, but instead of going to investigate the item, he comes to investigate where it came from, which I find bizarre from an NPC. In the end, it doesn't have too much of an impact, because you can still take advantage of the fact that he's apt to move out of position and you can manoeuvre around him because of it. But I still find it weird. I'm wondering if the game just wanted this guy to troll you. It really is annoying, especially again taking time into consideration. It's really frustrating to see. In the end, it did give me a chance to get the cue ball, but Again, I was very close there. I'm surprised I didn't get caught how close that suspicion meter read. Anyway though, we're free, and again now it's just getting to the exit, and we have to go the way we came in. You can't go through the main foyer area because there's that many security cameras there. It's really tricky to get past them all. So you have to go through the restaurant area. And once again, the only problem getting to the exit is just avoiding being spotted. As I've said, I had a run where I'd got to this point and I'd got, I think, my phone on me and maybe another lure like a crowbar or something, and I'd already misthrown the phone into the body of water there. So I'd got the crowbar and I'd already used that to lure one guard away, so I was stuck with nothing left to use as a lure. So make sure you keep as many as you can, just in case you have a mad moment like I did. It just means you've got enough to get past the guards at the end. Again, at this point, it just feels like the game's really testing your patience more than anything. It's crying out for you to rush and make a mistake, which is really frustrating because you do want to sort of be rewarded at the end of a level with the game saying, go on, you've done all this silently, we're going to give you an easier exit now. But you have to just time it well, make sure that guard doesn't see you, and also make sure the hotel staff member doesn't see you. And then you've only got 2 guards in here. You've got to shoot out the camera, as you always have to do anyway, and from there, a guard will see it. Now, if you're clever, you'll drop your gun. That way, the guard will see the gun and take it away. If you're like me, however, you'll just let him carry on and he'll patrol. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does create a little problem because then suddenly you've got another guard. Anyway, I decided to do what I've just said. I left a gun there. I made a noise so the guard who's nearest to would hear it, and it just gets rid of one of them. From there, it's easy enough to make to the exit because the patrolling guard is just easy to get by. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I'd also appreciate it if you could give this video a like, just if you did enjoy it. Just any feedback I can get on the videos I'm making would be appreciated. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I've had a few subscribers in the last few days and I can honestly say it has made my day when I've seen them, so thank you very much. So if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get updates on the new videos I'm making, and it's just nice to build a small little community of people who like games. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you sometime soon. Thank you, bye.